Hi everyone, so this is from Bakers and today we're making jam tart. Here are the list of ingredients that we used for the jam tart. You pour in your flour, add the sugar. I mixed the sugar and the salt together. I added it in the flour and I am going to add the baking powder as well, and I'll mix everything up with my hands. I'll have to blend it in properly, just mix until we have an even blend. Then now I'm adding the margarine or butter, whichever one. It's at room temperature, that's why you can see it's soft, so I'll be able to fold it in properly just like I'm doing here. So I have to make this blend together until it looks like a bread crumb, which you'll see very soon before I add in the egg. Yes, now I'm using my two hands to fold it in like that. So the next thing is to make a well in between and then break the two eggs, which is the recipe I'm using. So you notice I didn't break the egg in a separate bowl, it's directly in it. Yes, and now I'm adding the flavor just as required into the flour, butter, sugar, baking powder and egg, and I'll mix everything together. So at this stage, when you blend it together and you see that the egg is not sufficient to bind the flour, then you add 1 teaspoon or 1 tablespoon of water for it to blend. See what I'm doing here? That's because the flour is not blending. Yes, I had to add the water in there just so it blends and it becomes a dough. So look at what I'm doing, just trying to fold it in, and here it is. Then the next thing I'll do is to put it in a cling wrap and let it stay in the fridge for 15 to 20 minutes, just like I'm doing there. So after this, we now prepare our jam, whichever jam you choose to use. I'm using the apricot jam. You can use strawberry jam or whatever flavor. You can even use nutella instead, but here I'm using the apricot jam, and I had to break it all up because you know the jams are chunky. And then I'm lining my muffin tin. That's the oil spray. You could use margarine as well and sprinkle some flowers just to line your muffin tin where you're going to be putting in the dough that we just finished making. So this is the flour, pouring it into the muffin tray, and then I'll dust out the excess. And then I'm using the round cup to cut out the round shape. So it's 20 minutes already, and I'm bringing out my dough from the fridge, and then I'm rubbing it in the flour just so it doesn't stick to my work area like that. And then I'm rolling it out with my rolling pin. Please make sure your dough doesn't stick to your work table, just like I'm doing. Yes, I'm making it flat, but not too flat, maybe like an inch thick, just so you can line. And you see what I'll do now. So I'm using that cup to cut out the round shape. That's what I'll be doing next. I just want it to be flat enough and smooth because it matters a lot. That is how your pastry will come out. If it's not smooth, then your pastry will come out rough. So I'm trying to make it smooth, and then here I'm cutting out the round spots like that. Taking out the excess, and then I'll lay all this round cut into the muffin tray. Just lay it into the muffin tray like that. So I'm lining it in, and I'm using my fingers to push them in just so the pastry is sitting properly in the muffin tin. And now I'll be adding in the jam. I'm using a half tablespoon to put the jam in. Don't put too much of it because once it enters into the oven, it would splash out, especially when the pastry start puffing. So now I'm about to make the stripes that I'm going to use to cross the round pastry, just so it gives us that cross sign to make it beautiful or to seal it up. And you'll see what I'm talking about. But now, yes, the stripes should not be too thick, so I'm cutting out some stripes here, and then you'll see what I'll be using it for. Use the water to just brush the tip of that stripe. The water is acting like the glue for the stripe to stay firmly on top of that. So I'm using the water to seal it just like this. Yes, that's the first one. I'll be doing the second one again. Just brush the tip of that stripe and then press it on the edges of the round pastry. Then you bake in the already preheated oven. You should always preheat your oven before you bake anything. And then this is the end product. It looks beautiful. Thank you for watching. I hope you subscribe and you comment and like our channel. Don't forget to send us a message to join our WhatsApp group. See you again. Ciao.